Okay, this is a recording of some of the issues related to the compounding section of this week's work. I wanted to go through this week's assignments, starting with Part B, because I think it will give us everything we need to know about what has to be done to do all of this week's work, because it's all sort of related. It'd be nice if I could spell. So let's sign in. We're looking at Part B, which is Lab 22. It is extemporaneous compounding. So what I'm going to do is go through the first one, this one, and Lab 23. Lab 21 is similar. You're filling a syringe. If you follow the directions, once you see how this is done, you shouldn't have a problem with it. So we're going to start off with drug here, and we're going to create a compound. And the first thing we have to do is actually create an entry for a drug, and then we edit it. So what I'm going to do is create a new drug, and I'm going to call this, let's see what we're doing here. I want a new drug. Where is? All right, so let's get out of here. And then we'll start again with the drug screen. And I'm going to create a new one. And in this case, I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call it anti-RINKLE cream. Your book tells you to call it Annie's. It doesn't matter what you call it. I'm going to call this AW cream. Drug class is going to be, in this case, prescription. Click OK. Next thing we do is the type, item type. The list here is compound. That's what we're going to do. This is usable on any gender, either gender. And we'll go with generics, okay? In this particular case, the drug unit is going to be in grams. We have each gram in milliliter. Each would be a tablet or a tube or whatever. Gram is what we're going to have for this, and the units are going to be in grams. Notice we have lots of different choices of units. Package size we're not going to worry about. Days to expire. When we do compounding, we have to give some what we call a beyond use date, which means that beyond that date you cannot use it. So the units will be gram, as I said. And the beyond use date will be 180 days. For this kind of product, 180 days is common. We're going to have a default SIG for this, and it's going to be to use. Let's see. I want to be sure I get the right thing here. The default SIG here would be apply to affected area, which in a prescription could be AAA. Okay. We don't need a lot of this information. We don't need default quantity. We don't need a lot of other things. So the first thing we do is save it. Okay. Now we have the cream. We can either close this out and then search it again. So I'm going to close it, and I'm going to do a drug, and I'm going to do a search. And I'm going to give it the name Wrinkle Cream. Well, wait a minute. What happened? Cancel. Oh, for pity's sake. All right. Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to enter this again. I don't understand why this didn't work. I'm going to edit to start with. Drug class is going to be RX. Again, click OK. Item type is going to be compound, both genders, generic, default SIG. Plywood affected area. Drug unit is gram. Okay. Units, gram. Okay. Package size, doesn't matter. Days to expire, 180. Okay. So now we are saving this as a drug. We have Wrinkle Cream. We don't have a quick code. I didn't bother. Now I'm going to close it and see if I can bring it up again. Search. Wrinkle Cream comes up, so we pull it up. Here it is. First thing we do is we have to add the components. So we have to edit. And down here where we add components is in compound drug agreements, ingredients rather. The way to add a component is to add a new component. You get two screens that come up, drug name lookup and compound drug ingredients. This screen is not active until we actually choose something off this list. And we want tretinoin from the list. And we want the 0.5% cream, TRET, tretinoin, and we're not there yet. 0.5% cream, and we want the 45-gram package size. Okay, and this is all coming out of the instructions, so you'll see it there. Quantity here, 2.5. We get 2.5. There will always be 3 decimal places, so if you type only 1, it'll add the 2 zeros. We do not type a G. So we save that, and we now have component number 1 in our formulation. Add component number 2 is water. And we want sterile water for injection, a 5 milliliter vial. Double click on that. We want 0.02 milliliters. Save that. So now we have added the second component. And then we calculate a price. Always calculate a price. So this price for this cream is, these are the components. It's not what we've actually paid, okay? So your instructions say to use the save icon at the bottom of the screen. We don't have a save icon at the bottom of the screen. We will use the edit icon if the save icon isn't available, and then we press save. Okay. So your instructions at this point, that is the end of the screen. This is what you take a picture of for part 2 of the assignments, the first part of the assignment here. Now, what happens if we try to use this in a prescription? And I'm going to write a prescription for a patient to show you what we want in terms of print screens, because everybody seems to be having trouble, well, not everybody, but nearly everybody's having trouble with the idea of a label screen. So let's go to that. So now we've saved it, and we're going to close it, and now we're going to fill in Rx. Typical, we want a new prescription. Okay, note that it puts in a prescription number. Save this number because we're going to need it. Okay, so the customer is Marjorie Davison. So we type in the first 3 letters, and we find Marjorie Davidson down here. Marjorie Davidson comes up. There's no doctor. So we're going to put in a doctor. In this case, it's going to be Dr. Furman. And again, we type in his name, double click, and we get all of his information. So the pointer is now pointing us at the drug. So what we want is to type in wrinkle cream, double click, package size is 2.5, enter the package size, and you'll get this screen regularly. Ignore, 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 so that we can keep on going. We have 0 refills. Prescribed quantity is 1. Dispensed quantity is 1. Apply to affected area is that SIG. We can cross that out and do AAA. Apply to affected area is the SIG. Prescribed days supply. This is an unknown, so we're going to call it 30. If we click down here and tab down, we're going to get 30. Okay, use the tab and it'll automatically give you 30 there. So now we have Marjorie Davidson. Okay, so we want to save this prescription, and then we want to record it. Okay. The prescription disappeared. That's why we wanted to record the prescription number, because we want to print the label. I'm going to close that out and print a prescription label. Type in the prescription number, 186543 in this particular case, and hit preview. What comes up when we hit preview is this screen. This is the label screen. This is what you take a screenshot of whenever you are asked to do a screenshot. Okay? So of the label. This shows that everything has been done correctly. We've got what we need. And this is what's needed in order to submit for, not just to put on the bottle. This is the part that would go on the bottle, but also to submit for reimbursement. So So now we have all of this done. Okay. So that's how we do these entries. Now, escape will get you back out of that. Cancel will get you back out of that. Let's go back to drug. And again, the next lab is to follow the instructions to prepare a prescription for nitroglycerin cream. Okay. What I'm going to do is go back. Oh, come on. What's going on with this computer today? In order to get to chapter 21, etc., you're going to have to come down here to the bottom, to 22 rather, 22, 23, etc., and click on non-sterile compounding. So this will take us to the next set of labs. So we'll go now to the lab for nitroglycerin. And the reason I want to do that is that's part 3 of this assignment B here. Go to the lab for nitroglycerin. If you look at the Word document for that, which I'll bring up in a minute, just be sure that we're sharing or not. Okay. So when you go to find these labs, you'll have to go to the bottom of the page on community pharmacy, and you'll find non-sterile compounding as a choice. It will go to labs 23 through 27 or 28. In the nitroglycerin category, you're going to see, this is, yeah. You're going to be preparing a nitroglycerin. This is not right. Let's do this. Okay. All right. You're going to be preparing an ointment. And one of the things you're going to be doing is this nitroglycerin ointment, 60 grams, 0.2%. Even though their math is wrong, 0.2% nitroglycerin is really 1/10 of this amount, but I'm not going to worry about their math. These are the components that we have here in this nitroglycerin ointment. And you'll start out again by giving it a name. This is compound nitro, okay? That's the name they gave it, and 3-gram package size. You'll go through, you'll see something here. Let me back up. You'll see something here that that says use lab 22 as a reference. What that means is you will do this preparation using the same process, the same steps. So you're going to take care of the drug and packaging form. You're going to enter a name for the drug. They're telling you it can be CMP, NITR. You can name it anything you want as long as you can find it. And it should be 0.2%, 3 grams ointment. So we choose as a package size 3 grams. So let's go back to that. I'll go back to sharing the come on. Here we go. So note, I'm going to use this cream here. And actually, I'll just do new and we'll have an empty screen. So you'll have the label name. Don't ever bother with FDB standard. Label name, you can put in a quick code if you want. Drug class would be RX. Item type is compound. All of these will be compounds. And it's going to be generic. And gender is both by default. The SIG, the default SIG, you can use the instructions that are in the instruction book for that in a reduced form. Drug unit is going to be grams. Units, grams. Package size, 3. Days to expire, 180. So you'll fill out this. This is the original form, the drug and packaging part of the form. And then you will save it and go back and fill in the compound drug ingredients. So let's go back to looking at the instructions. Okay. So you'll use you'll look up, let's see, what do they tell you the previous page? I do believe you want to look for nitroglycerin 2% ointment in a 3 gram package size for the drug. And in fact, you don't even have to put the package size in the other screen. So you'll need 6 grams when you get to that screen of entering the drug itself and the amount after you choose it. Then you go back and you can either save it or just add something new. Sometimes you have to save it to add something new. And then you enter DD for demo base. You're going to do this a lot. DD will be a common thing you do. There's going to be demo dose sim base. Okay, so you'll do that. And then you'll type in what's next. If we go back and look at this prescription again, they don't give you what's missing. All right. Sim-base ointment, so you've got that. Sim-base ointment, 500 grams, choose that. 54 grams is what you will have. Put them in, and then when you get down here, before you close this, you can close it and bring it back up, but go ahead and do the print screen once you get all of these things entered, but don't forget to calculate a price. Now, what is next is, let's take a look at the Word document, first page. So you've got in this lab, you've got the screenshot of the fully compounded. Then you have a compounding record. Compounding record is a legal document that says that you have done this according to a plan, usually the right plan. So, excuse me, instead of prescription number, you can ID it as CMPD, etc. Forget the FR record number used. Name and strength of compound. We named it 0.2% nitroglycerin ointment. Quantity, 60 grams. Actual net measurement, 6 grams. Actually, quantity 6 grams, actual net measurement 6 grams. Expiration date, well, where does that come from? Fortunately, we have pictures of the packaging. So you have the expiration date here. You have NitroBid, nitroglycerin ointment USP, 2%, which you found when you did a search for nitro, 2% ointment. You have the expiration date 0525. The next thing is the manufacturer's lot number right above it. Then manufacturer's expiration date is the same, okay? BUD is a beyond use date. It's 180 days from the day you actually do the preparation. Date packaged would be the day you did that. Tech initials are yours. Pharmacist initials, someone else's. Second component is Symbase ointment. Here is the expiration date and the lot number. The amount you used was 54 grams. So you fill out that record. What's not here is that it's also signed by you. So here is what you. Okay. The rest of these are quite similar. Let's look at another. Let's see. I want to go to D now. Make sure this is being shared. Okay. And part D, number 7, number 39, if you follow, or lab 39, if you follow the directions, you shouldn't have any trouble. Part D, part 7 here is comes out of hospital and other care facilities emergency boxes. Every emergency box has a list of its components, and it will depend on where the emergency box is located as to what will be in it. These box lists will show what you'll have is a list that goes out with the box when it's first opened that will have everything in it with the number of units that are in it. And when it comes back to you when anything is taken out, this needs to come back to you with this form filled out with the number that are there. So you compare the number of amount on hand with the number of quantity, and we restock based on that. So this thing needs 1 EpiPen. Now, if there's nothing written, everything's there, okay? So we will, you can, and this is the patient number, the patient that, that you'll write the prescription for this EpiPen. So there, you treat this the same as anything else. You write a prescription for that person. Okay, so that's how you do these. If you have any questions, I'm going to let this go off. I need to rest my voice a bit. If you have any questions, you can email me. Please, when you've listened to this and the previous recording, send me an email, and the code word is Lima, L-I-M-A. Just send that to me as soon as you read this, and then everything will be fine. So I will see you all on Monday. I hope you have a decent weekend.